A reading from the Gospel according to Luke. But Jesus said to them, "But I say to you that listen, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who abuse you. If anyone strikes you on the cheek, offer the other also. And from anyone who takes away your coat, do not withhold even your shirt. Give to everyone who begs from you, and if anyone takes away your goods, do not ask for them again. Do to others as you would have them do to you. If you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? For even sinners love those who love them. If you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? For even sinners do the same. If you lend to those from whom you hope to receive, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners to receive as much again. But love your enemies. Do good and lend, expecting nothing in return. And your reward will be great, and you will be children of the Most High, for he is kind to the ungrateful and the wicked. Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be put into your lap. For the measure you give will be the measure you get back." The word of the Lord. Now, I've heard this lesson from Jesus many a time, and I will admit I always heard this in a very uplifting, positive sense of holding yourself to a higher standard and being the kind of compassionate, loving person that extends love even to others who don't love you. And that's a wonderful message. And I do believe it is a good and true message. I have, however, had opportunities to be able to talk to people for whom they have found this very challenging. People who have been in relationships of domestic violence, people who have been bullied at school, refugees fleeing persecution and death in a war zone, people who have had someone sneak into their home and rob them of their possessions, break into their home and take the things and violate their sense of security. And for those people that I've talked to, it is a challenging reading, and they read it very differently, as I hope you can imagine, when they hear Jesus say, "Pray for those who abuse you, and if someone strikes you, offer the other also. And from everyone who takes something from you, give more, and do not ask things." This could read as a message, rather than being very uplifting from Jesus, is actually being really hurtful. So as I wrestled with that, my mind was brought to additional interpretations. I do believe there is a message here of challenging us to love even those who hate us and hurt us. But I don't believe Jesus is pro-victimization. I don't believe that he expects you in a case of abuse to stay in an abusive relationship or to accept violence unjustly against you. But Jesus does lift up this idea that ultimately you are responsible for the response that you make to the world. No one can make you choose to be unloving. No one can choose you to respond to hurt by hurting back. No one can make you choose to respond to violence with violence. That ultimately you are responsible for how you will respond in this world. The comparative theologian Paul Knitter, was reading several works from him, and he said part of what really illuminates this idea about the Christian message from him actually comes from his study of Buddhism and how Buddhism enlightens his own understanding of Christianity. And this idea that ultimately you are responsible for yourself. And when things happen to you in this world, you can look within and decide, what kind of person do I choose to be? Do I choose to let the hurt that happened to me make me be a bitter and angry and hurtful person toward others? Or do I choose to not let that pain that was inflicted upon me make me be a hurtful person toward others? I choose instead to be compassionate because I know what it's like to have been hurt, and to know that from my place of being hurt, being a victim, it helps me to be more compassionate toward others to make sure I don't continue that cycle. It's not an easy challenge, but I think it is a worthwhile challenge for us to strive for. So let us, as Jesus commends to us, be mindful of the kind of people that we choose to be when we respond to how those around us behave. Amen.